Hello, thanks for joining me today. At a friend's request, I'm going to focus today on arms and shoulders and neck. So at the end of this, I think you'll feel really great. Let's begin, however, by taking a moment to just kind of relax ourselves and center ourselves here on the mat. Close your eyes. Let your breathing be natural. Feel how as you breathe, different parts of your body move. Feel how with each exhale, you kind of relax downwards. And with each inhale, your energy rises. Take a minute to think about your posture. Make sure that your weight is directly over your pelvis, pressing your sits bones down into the ground. Drawing your shoulders back just a little. Reaching your shoulder blades down to the ground, while at the same time lengthening your neck and your head up towards the ceiling. You should be working to hold yourself up, but also relaxing at the same time. Take a couple more breaths here. With each inhale, lengthen, try to be just a little bit taller. And then with each exhale, just relax. Inhale, a little bit taller. Exhale, relax. And then go ahead and open your eyes. And let's begin with a very simple twist. We're going to first come into a prayer position, lace your fingers, and then on an exhale, reach your hands forward. Be careful not to let your shoulders rise or your arms rise, okay? Your shoulders should be reaching down. Your hands should be kind of in front of your chest. And then on an inhale, reach your arms up. You can bring them out to the side or you can bring them together. But again, you're not going to be squeezing your head with your arms. You're going to be pulling the shoulders down a little bit. And then bring the arms apart and reach them behind you with your palms up, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then kind of just twist your hands back and forth a little bit. You can bend the elbows a bit, or you can keep them straight. You'll find a little bit of a bend gives you a different feeling. Stretching, a little bit difficult. Okay, and then exhale over to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale over to the right. Inhale to center, and then go ahead and bring your right hand to the outside of the left knee. You can take your left hand either out to the side or right behind you, whichever is easiest. And let's go ahead and look behind us, and then look over the right shoulder. Look behind you and the right shoulder. Now, take a minute to just think about your posture. Look behind you, and when you do, see if you're leaning over a little bit to the left. Looking over to the right. What you really want to do is press both the right and the bottom and the left bottom into the ground equally. One more time, over to the left, looking behind you, and over to the right, and relax. Let's go ahead and stretch our legs, and just sit up tall. This is surprisingly difficult for some people. What you want to do here is be careful that you're not rounding, okay? So you kind of want to lift your chest, and you bring your belly just forward a little bit, and your shoulders back and down. Just sit here for another breath. Okay, go ahead and bend your knees, come back into that cross-legged position, this time with the opposite leg in front, and we're just going to do exactly the same thing. So you bring your hands to prayer, and you reach your hands forward, drawing your shoulders down, and the top of your head reaching upwards. inhale, bringing your arms up. You can come like this or like this. Try not to do this, okay? Choose either this one or this one. And then bring your arms behind you just a little bit and out to the side, okay? Long spine. And now we're going to exhale over to the right, back to center, over to the left, back to center, squeezing the shoulder blades. Go ahead and just twist those shoulders just a little bit, maybe 3 or 4 times. Okay, and then go ahead and bring the the left hand to the right knee and drop that right hand down. So this is where you're going to be feeling the stretch. And then think about your balance. Are you leaning over to the side? Press both the left and the right bottom equally into the ground. And then look behind you. And then over the left shoulder, over the right shoulder, and the left. 2 more. Nice even breathing. And once again. And then come back to the center, stretching your legs, sitting tall, bring your arms up. And this is such an easy pose. This time you are going to bring the shoulders up and then pull the shoulders down. Bring them up and down. 1 more. Up and down and relax. Okay, let's come into our tabletop position. Take the right hand forward as much as you can, but don't bring your weight forward, okay? Take the fingertips to the floor first, and then the fingers, and then the palm, and then reach back with your bottom. So your left elbow can be on the ground, and you just want to think about taking the right elbow, the right arm, and the right armpit just down to the ground as much as you can. So you're going to be feeling it all along the right side, the right armpit, probably right arm up until the elbow. Come back to tabletop. That should feel really nice in here. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So this time the left arm goes as far forward as it can. First the fingertips, and then the fingers, and then the palm, and then reach your bottom back. Your right elbow to the ground. Press the left hand into the ground. That'll activate the muscles a little bit and intensify the stretch. The left armpit, the left elbow, the left arm reaches down to the ground. It's not going to touch. You're just going to kind of press it downwards. And then come back to neutral. Let's go ahead and do the same thing again on the right, okay? But this time, you're going to do a little bit of a twist. So you're going to look at the right armpit, and then you're going to look over the left shoulder. And then the right armpit, and the left shoulder. 1 more, armpit and shoulder. And you can just feel how that slight movement just changes where you feel the pose. Let's do the other side. The left fingers come forward. First the fingers, then the palm. Touching to the ground. The bottom reaches back. And then you're going to look at the left armpit and the right shoulder. The left armpit, right shoulder. 1 more. And come back to tabletop. Okay, we're going to do a little something different there. So we're going to walk our hands forward just a little bit. And now bring that right arm up and to the sky. Push into the ground with the left arm. So you're kind of twisting a little bit in here, and so you might feel it in that area. And then take that right hand under the left and take the right shoulder onto the ground. Now this is just a warm up. Come back to neutral. I'll show you straight on. So this left. So you take the left arm up, pressing into the ground with the right hand so that you're twisting a little bit to the left. And then take the left arm under the right, reaching as far as you can towards the right, and then the left shoulder comes down to the ground. Take a breath and come back. So if you're tight in the shoulders, maybe your shoulder does not touch the ground, in which case you can use a block. So we're going to do the same thing again on the right, and bring your right arm up, and you can bring the right shoulder onto a block or a pillow, or you can bring it right back down to the ground. And this time, you're going to take your bottom and just rock from side to side. So when your bottom goes towards the right, you're going to feel a more intense stretch. When it goes to the left, it'll be a little bit of relief. Just do that 3 or 4 times. Come back to neutral. And this time, the left arm comes up. And exhale, the left shoulder comes down onto a block or onto the ground. And then rock your bottom side to side. This is such a nice stretch. So easy. Doesn't require too much energy. But it feels really, really good. Okay. And then come back. And we can sit in seiza for just a second. Give your knees a little bit of a rest. Okay, let's do something that just feels so amazing. I know I say that in every video, but it's true, isn't it? All right, we're going to come into down dog. So if your down dog is done with a chair, let me just get the chair. Well, I'll do it this way first, and then I'll do it the second way onto the ground. So if your down dog is on a chair, you just walk back, you hold the edge of a chair, and you're gonna twist your body from side to side. You can move your feet from side to side as well, okay? And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna feel it all along here. And that's really important. Even though we're talking about shoulders and neck, you know, you'd be surprised at how many shoulder problems are actually because of some muscles along here and even in the lower back. If your down dog is on the floor, but just do the same thing, okay? So you're just gonna rock from side to side. You can keep your feet straight and just rock your bottom if you want, or you can angle your toes to the left and then to the right. This is a little bit more intense. Okay, and then take a break. And let's do it for the 3rd time. Coming into down dog, either on your chair or on the ground. And this time, when you twist, maybe take the hand and reach the hand forward a little bit more. Reach your bottom up to the sky a little bit more. Okay. Oh, that feels so good. Let me do it on the chair, show you how it's done. So, on the chair, it's basically the same thing. You just tilt your feet over and maybe just reach your hand a little bit more towards the back of your chair. And then take your right side, or your right bottom, and push it in the opposite direction. Let's do the other side. Oh, that feels so good. Breathe naturally, don't hold your breath. Okay, and go ahead and come to standing. Doesn't that feel good? Ooh. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a couple standing poses. We're going to first come into prayer, and then bring your arms up and squeeze your shoulders together. So even though we're focusing on our shoulders and our arms, think about your standing posture as well, okay? You don't want to be bending forward, you don't want to be swaying, you want to take that bottom down, Press your feet into the ground, straight spine. And then, see if you can, keeping your elbows together, just pull your hands apart a little bit. You'd be surprised at how difficult this is. And relax down. Let's do that again. Inhale, squeezing the elbows together, keeping them just in front of your chest, and then just as much as you can, separate your hands. So what a lot of people do here is this. And they're like, oh, I'm really separating a lot, but really you're just bending your wrists. Try to keep them straight and relax. You should be feeling this all in the shoulder girdle. One more time, okay? Inhale. And then separate your hands just as much as you can. And try to keep your fingers, like maybe relaxed. You can even move your fingers if you want. If you want to bend your wrists, you can. And you can even kind of angle your hands like this. And you'll feel, again, how these simple movements really change where you feel it. And relax, okay? Shake your arms out. Let's do an opposite stretch now. So having your feet hip width apart, pressing into the ground, bend your knees and bring your arms up just as much as you can. Again, be careful not to hang your head. Okay, you want to keep the shoulders down and the neck long. The arms come up, and then pulling your belly in towards your spine, folding forward, and just bring your arms up as much as you can. And come to standing. So again, even doing that is difficult for some people. Even bringing their arms together like this is difficult for some people. So if that's the case, just get a belt or a towel or a yoga strap and do it with your hands about shoulder width apart. And you'll still get plenty of benefit from this pose. So we're going to do 2 more of these. All right, so inhale, long spine, bring your arms up. Okay, so turn the shoulders back. Don't let the shoulders hang forward like this. Kind of think about taking the front of the shoulder and pulling it out so that it's pointing sideways. Okay, and then bend your knees, pulling your belly into your spine. Drop your belly to your legs. Fold forward and bring your arms towards your head. Doesn't that feel good? Come to standing. Relax. Relaxing is a big part of this. You got to give those muscles a chance to rest. All right, 1 more. So you can do it either with the strap or with your fingers laced or with your palms together. Inhale. Think about pulling those shoulders out and then not out. Think about pulling your shoulders over to the side so they're kind of angled out. Okay, bend your shoulders, bend your knees. I can't get that picture out of my mind. And fold forward. You can look at your toes or you can look between your knees. Okay, and come to standing. Shake your arms, shake your hands. Let's do 1 more standing pose and then we're going to do a couple in a chair. So we're going to bring our hands like this again. But this time, open your palms and put your palms, trying to get this at an angle so you can see what to do. So you open your palms to face your head and put the palms on your forehead. As you inhale, you want to slide your palms up towards your head, the top of your head. Now what this does is it's going to make your elbows want to separate. So you're fighting that. You're squeezing your elbows together at the same time that you're bringing your hands up towards the top of your head. Don't bend your head forward. Bring your hands to the top of your head. Take 1 breath there. Okay, now open your elbows, okay? And take your hands to the back, just at the base of your neck, and pull open your elbows as much as you can. Now take the backs of your hands and squeeze them together. So the thumbs are together, the index fingers are together. And now, pulling your elbows apart, slide the tips of your fingers up your neck to the back of your head. And then turn your hands so that you're kind of in a prayer position, but in the back instead of in the front. This is what it's going to look like from the front. And now reach your hands up. See if you can take the backs of your hands and squeeze them together, because chances are your hands are kind of separating at the back. And then relax. That's a very complicated pose, but you can feel how it moves and it stretches and it works every part of your shoulder girdle. So we're going to do that one more time. All right, into prayer. Inhale, bringing your elbows together and your palms open. Bring the palms to your forehead. So first, squeeze your elbows together as you bring your hands up to the top of your head, just as much as you can. Don't bend like this, okay? Keep your nice tall posture. Now open your elbows and bring your hands to the base of the neck. Just bring your elbows out as much as you can towards the side. Take the backs of your hands and squeeze them together, thumbs and baby fingers, pinkies together, and then slide the tips of the fingers along the neck, up the back of the head, keeping the elbows wide, and then turn your hands so that they face the ceiling. The tips of the fingers are going to face the ceiling. Squeeze the backs of the hands together. You should feel it in your wrists. And then reach your arms up. So here again, this is where you're kind of actually moving the shoulders, because as you try to squeeze the backs of your hands together, you do that actually at the shoulders and the elbows and the wrists. Okay, and relax those arms. All right, let's go ahead and you can sit on a chair or you can sit on the floor, whichever is most comfortable for you. I'll do it on the chair just because it's easier to show. So we're going to use that strap or towel or belt that you have and just lace it over your knees. Bring your knees about hip width apart and just take the hands to the inside of the knees and push the knees open. Pulling the shoulders down and pushing the knees open. So you should feel these muscles right here working. Take a couple breaths. And relax. Same thing again. Inhale, nice straight spine. And then open the legs. So now let's go ahead and bend the neck over to the left. And back to the center. And over to the right. This is good. Back to the center. Okay. Pressing your hands against your knees. Now you're actually going to press your knees against your hands. So your hands are trying to push your knees open and your knees are trying to push together. And you feel that a lot more in the neck than before. But it feels so good. Go ahead and look down at your chest. Go ahead and look up at the ceiling. Look forward and relax. That feels good. Let's take our strap now and you're going to bring it up to about your chest. Okay? And you're going to hold the strap tight. So the right hand is going to push or pull to the right and the left hand is going to pull to the left. And so once again, you should be feeling it in here. And now you actually push it forward, but at the same time that you kind of try to reach your back towards the chair. Just raise it and drop it a couple times. Feel how this very small movement changes the feeling. This is gonna actually make your arms feel a little bit tired, but you'll feel good afterwards. Okay, relax. Oh, feels so good. Okay, do the same thing again, but a little bit wider. So the right hand pulls to the right, the left hand pulls to the left, and both are reaching forward a little bit. Now, at the same time that you're pulling outwards, kind of wrap your hands inwards so that the palms are actually touching the strap. And then reverse. Okay, and see if you can do the opposite. So you're not going to be able to, really you're not going to be able to have the back of your hand touch the strap, but see if you can at least get them to face each other. Don't let the shoulders come up. Okay, back to neutral. One more time, inwards. And one more time, seeing if you can do it the other way, but keeping the shoulders down. Okay, relax. Oh. Go ahead and fold forward, take a little bit of pressure off your back. Okay, let's open the arms a little bit wider now. You'll have to adjust as we do this. Just bring your arms up over your head and as far back as you can. We're just stretching this area again, okay? You can do a stretch and then release, keeping your elbows straight. Don't bend your elbows. And also, don't let your head drop forward. Do that about 4 times and relax. And then we're going to do a couple things with that movement. So first, bring your arms up, and you kind of want it to be just behind your head. So you're not going to go as far down as your neck or your shoulder blades, just behind your head so that you're starting to feel that stretch. And we're going to move those hands again, the wrists again, but this time we're going to bend the wrists backwards. And you're going to feel it all through the forearm and the wrist, and then the other direction. Fold your wrists forward, and then straight, and now just pull a little bit harder with the right arm. Now see how your elbow wants to bend. Straighten it. That's where the stretch comes in. Of course, if there's any pain in the shoulder, you need to adjust immediately. Let's do the other side. The left arm pulls a little bit more. The right arm is going to keep straight, but also behind you. Don't let it come forward. Keep it backwards. Okay. And maybe a little bit more of a stretch and relax. One more. Bring your arms up again. Keep your wrists straight. A lot of people, when they do this, they just automatically bend their wrists back. So let's bring the arms behind us. And now we're going to do a little bit of a twist to the left and center. A little bit of a twist to the right and center and back and forward. Okay? And now, once again, we're pulling right and left. You're going to feel it once again in this part of your arms. Okay? And let's go ahead and do another one of these where you twist your hands so that the palms face up and bend the neck, look up, look straight. Bend the neck to the right and take the left hand and push the left hand down to the floor. And back, and then bend a little bit over to the left and take the right hand and push it down towards the floor. You should be feeling this a little bit more in your neck. And relax. And it's such a simple, but just so intense stretch. Okay, your shoulders should feel really good now. So let's do a little bit now with your neck. Take your right hand, reach it behind you so that the palm is facing backwards and the back of your hand is actually touching your lower back. Now, again, you have to be really careful with this. If you're really tight in your shoulders, you'll have to adjust the angle of the elbow bend. But if you can, you want to reach the right hand as much over to the left as you can. And then you take the fingers and you lace them. Okay, so it's gonna look like this. If your arm can only go here, then just press the hands together. You could still lace the fingers if you want. It kind of depends on what's available to you. So you take the left elbow and you face it backwards. So you should be feeling a stretch. Well, you should be feeling this in a lot of different places. The neck, the arm, maybe even the wrist. Okay, but now you're going to take your neck and just drop your neck over to the right. And you can move a little bit. Lift your chin, drop your chin. Okay. You can maybe bring your chin over to the right shoulder. Maybe bring your chin over to the left shoulder. Just be careful if there's any pain, like sharp pain, then you need to stop this. Okay, straighten up. Do a little twist, looking over the right shoulder. And back. Do the same thing, little twist. So this left elbow wants to come forward because you can, and just try it. Pull that left elbow forward and feel how that stretch just disappears. So the stretch comes in, pulling the elbow back and trying to point it behind you, and then turning. Okay, and keeping that stretch. Okay, and relax. Let's do the other side. So the left palm faces backwards, the back of the hand touches your back, or if you can, bring it over as much as you can to the right. Okay. So the same thing is, if you can only bring your arm here, you can still lace your fingers and still bring your elbow back. If it's like this, you just do the same thing, okay? So you want to make sure that you're not pushing yourself too much. I mean, you don't want to mess up a joint, so be very, very careful. Lace the fingers, all right? Take the right elbow and point it back as much as you can. And then we're going to bring the neck over to the left. Bend it to the left. And again, keeping your right shoulder down. Don't let the right shoulder come up. Don't let the right elbow come forward. And just move your head up, down. You can look over at the right shoulder, over at the left shoulder. Oh, angle it upwards. You can just, if you just find one place that really feels good, you can just stop and keep it there. Okay, go ahead and straighten up, and keeping your elbow and your arm in that position, we're going to twist a little bit to the left and back, a little bit to the left and back, and relax. You can open your chest, you can lift your shoulders, move your arms, move your hands. I mean, this whole area now should be feeling significantly better than when we started. And now we're going to do one more thing, two more things, sorry. In addition to flexibility and stretching, we want to improve mobility. So that's as simple as just moving your arm in circles like this. I know it sounds so easy. You're like, I don't need a yoga teacher to tell me that. Well, if you haven't been doing it, then you do. And let's do the other side. If you have been doing it, then good on you. Okay, let's try the other side. Just big circles. And, it's kind of up to you. When I do this, because I like to focus just on one area, I try to keep my upper body straight and only allow the arm and the shoulders to move But some people will want a little bit of movement in their upper body too. So you should still be, okay, let's do the other side. I'll be quiet. Okay, and now we're going to do the hands and the fingers and this part, which is so important to those of us who spend any time at a computer. I think we're going to do two different exercises, and I would say just choose one or the other. I like this one where I just take my fingers and I bring them up as high as I can to my armpit, and then I press my palm into my rib cage. And so what that does is, like I feel a stretch in my fingers, as well as here in the forearm and in the wrist, which is, so often the problem that those of us who use computers have. And then you can just move your arm, okay? If this is too difficult, you can do the same thing maybe on your hip. I don't really feel much of a stretch here, but you might. You might feel it maybe more in the fingers than in the wrist. And so, play around a little bit. Shake it out. Let's go ahead and do the other side. If you can't do this, then you'll be able to do the next one. Okay, you can move the elbow forward and backwards. You feel it in different parts of the palm. Okay, if you want, bring it down, same thing, just move the elbow around. Okay, so this next one, we're going to come back into our tabletop position. But instead of having our fingers facing the top of the mat, you're going to turn your fingers to face your knees. And for some of you, it actually may be too much. So just do one hand if that's the case. If you can, you want to have your fingers facing your knees, bring your fingers wide, all right? And then don't let the palms come up. Keep the wrists and the palms pressing into the ground, and just bend backwards as much as you can. You'll feel it, you'll know what I mean. And relax, and again, just do this a couple times. So one of these should be available to you. And if you can't go back that far, that's okay. If you're just moving a tiny little bit, but you feel it, then this is the pose for you, okay? Some people, your fingers might be bent. If you can, stretch them out. And then I like to rock from side to side, but again, be very, very careful. These muscles can be very tender. The wrist joint can be very tender. And the elbow too. You might feel it in the elbow a little bit as well. So really pay attention to your limits. Okay. And now your hands are probably weak. So what I like to do is just take the back of my hands. You can just do one or both. Bend those elbows, get into a nice comfortable position, and then just bend the elbows, and then straighten the elbows. And then bend the elbows, and then straighten the elbows. You can bend them a lot, and straighten only as much as you can, or you can just bend them a little bit for the relief, and then straight, bend, and straight. Sit down, just move your fingers a little bit. The last thing we're going to do, bring your elbows into your side. You can be in any position here. Take your thumbs to the palms, close your fingers on your thumbs, grab those thumbs tight, and then angle your wrist so that it's trying to face down, so that the index finger knuckle is aiming for the ground. Keep those shoulders relaxed. This can be really painful for some people, and so what happens is this, okay? Relax the shoulders, keep the elbows in, don't let them come out, and then relax, and then bend them down, and then relax, okay, and then bend, relax, one more. Okay, I hope you feel a lot better in your upper body and in your arms. And now you can reward yourself with Shavasana if you want, or just take a minute on your mat to focus on your breathing. Close your eyes, relax those shoulders. Think about how different your shoulders are now compared to when you started today. Our shoulders, our neck holds so much tension, so really there are other poses that we can do as well that, over time, if you work on these muscles and stretch these muscles, you'll feel so much better. But it does take time. You can stay in this position as long as you like, or bring your hands to prayer. Those nice relaxed hands. Namaste. Thank you.